So this is my digital piano, and works perfectly fine. I almost never play it, and for many years it just sat there. And then recently I thought, what the hell, let's have a nosy at it. It has the hammer action feel like a real piano, but some of these, well, that one's really noisy. So something funny's gone on there. It should be like that. And then some of them are getting stuck down. Yeah, just up in this upper area. So I thought it'd be interesting to pop the top off and have a look. I can't give you a concert, but you might like to see what's inside one of those too. I'm really hoping that I can take it off, take the lid off while it's sitting on the stand. It's very handy to have a stand like that. There's a whole bunch of screws around the sides and a couple in the middle. So yeah, hopefully that's all it'll take and I can leave it sitting where it is. We've got the screws off. Let's see if it'll lift up. And it does lift up. You need to see what's underneath there, because obviously all of the electronics on top are going to be plugged in. Looks like we'll pick it up in the middle just to balance the weight. And you can see all of the power supply and whatnot is right there, just along here. And we have access to the plugs, which we need to unplug the speakers. There's one there. And that plug that goes to the speakers on the left. And we've got these ribbon cables that go to the keyboard. Are they glued in? No, they're not glued in. Cool. So we have like a left and a right. It looks like they tried to glue them in. There's a bit of funny red stuff, although that could be just on the locking tab of the cable itself. And the rest of the cabling is all attached to the top cover, so there's just those cables, and the rest of it should lift off. How cool is that? So there you can see we've got the brains of it. Actually has you know, your usual array of about 500 different sounds, including piano. We have a piece of felt along here that sits against the keys that's slightly coming off. We may need to put a bit of glue on that just to make sure. Just be careful when you grab this edge that you don't slip and peel it off. Has a Dream CPU, a Dream processor. Actually has a couple of Dream branded chips, probably a couple of sample ROMs. Be interesting to see what's inside, like a Technics or a Roland or a Yamaha high-end brand. This is a low-end brand, being Medeli. I was quite disappointed to spot that. There's a definite pinched wire caught in the chassis when they assembled it. It's a bit of a shame. That goes to our bass speaker, that one there. The mechanism for the hammer action appears to be all underneath. There's really nothing on top here. There's this, which maybe that's a clip to release the key, so you can remove it. I'm not too sure. Is that yes, if you pull it up you can slide the key backwards. Look at that, and off. It is loaded up with some sort of grease under there. Okay, so let's see if we can reassemble that without breaking it. we go. Oh well, now we know how to get into it. Okay, so this one's a bit sticky. It can stay down. Should come up right away. That's our noisy one. Let's have a look at that one first, shall we? They don't sit perfectly level, but that's sort of the way along is cheaply built. So let's slide that one off. So we'll lift the catch and slide that forward. Ooh, that dropped down. Is there supposed to be a spring? Perhaps it's gone. Yeah, okay. When you push the key, you can see the weight swing up the back like that. So that's just, the pivot point is right at the front. So it's not a huge weight, but through the moment of inertia there, that bit of metal causes it to swing and feel heavier than it is at this point here. Actually, I think I've spotted something else that could be a problem. I think we have some broken plastic. Let's take a couple more off just to show you what I'm looking at, make it a bit easier to see. That didn't feel good either. So if we take that one, that gives you a good view of what I'm looking at there. The key, there's these plastic bits here, and the key is riding on that to swing the weight, because the weight is off here. See, this is our weight. Yeah, and this one is missing a plastic bit. Not only that, it's making more of a knock when it hits the bottom. What should that land on that softens the blow that this is not landing on? It's falling down lower. That's what it is. That's stopping there, and this one's falling down lower, which is why it's pushed the key up slightly and looked a bit uneven. It looks like we have the plastic piece has come off the end of there. We have a lot of these bits of plastic. And there's so many bits under here. If I look under the front edge, picking bits of plastic out of everything. That's pretty annoying. I wonder what sort of plastic they've used. And some of these keys where the plastic appears to be missing still function perfectly fine, but it does appear this plastic is broken off all over the show. This plastic is one huge piece that is molded over the metal there. Wow, I didn't notice that. I thought that was just like I thought it was just a little piece that went on the end. But it actually wraps around the sides. It's the whole bit. And the key itself, so there's a rubber that'll have like a carbon pad under there, and whatever they do to set it up so that it is touch sensitive, so the harder you hit it, the louder it gets. Plenty of keyboards do that without the weighted feel of a piano, which looking at this, the way they've designed it, yeah, it's covered in grease because the key has to slide on it, but it's just turned to crud. I wonder how easy it is to remove the weight, or if it's locked in from underneath. See if it comes off as easy as the key. Okay, I'm going to gently lift. The pivot point is right in under here, So if I lift the back edge of it and lift up with the pliers, is that going to let go? Did. Wow, here we go. Hey, huh. Look at that. It's the whole piece. What a horrible design. Why do they mold this over here? It was something that's just going to break. Like, it's obviously under some sort of rapid, you know, it bounces off the key. And, of course it's going to sort of hammer against the end of that just by natural operation. And that's, that there just sits down into that hole down there, and it rocks on it. So over time, I mean, it's just going to probably wear against the edge of that hole. I don't know how I'm going to resolve that unless maybe I could build it up with something. I could try Plasti Dip, or like a brush on or spray on rubber coating and just sort of build it up around it. That might work. At least it'll take the knocking out of it. Speaking of, I don't know why this is falling down and hitting on the bottom of the keyboard there, you know, and it knocks down when you let go. So let's have a look. So I'm just going to see if I can remove this one, just as a point of curiosity. Can I? Yeah, that piece just came off. It is so fragile. It's just, yeah, bugger. It's almost like it's made of wax. I mean, that's never going to last. I don't see anything in there, though, that would stop it hitting the bottom when it swings. It actually stops on this piece here. And because that's broken off the other one, it's coming past that and just landing on the bottom. So yeah, if we're going to try and remake this, it's got to have like this section through here. I wonder what a set of replacement ones of these would cost. Probably might as well buy a new keyboard. I did actually see a nice one for a couple $1,000. Yeah, had all the bells and whistles. So as you can see, a lot of them have broken there. Mostly the bottom sections, but there's a few of the upper sections as well. And then there's, of course, all this plastic shrapnel in the bottom, all the way along where they're falling apart. And then down the lower notes, they tend to be in a lot better condition, but they're not far off. I reckon they won't take long to crumble as well. But yeah, certainly the most played section through the middle, and some in the upper section. I mean, even those that weren't played that much, I guess, because they're quite high, so they're really falling apart. So for a piano that really hasn't had a lot of use, that's not a very good design. I'd say maybe the grease they put on it has caused the plastic to decay. You can see the color difference in the plastic there. So one's quite a lot more translucent, and then these ones that are really opaque and dulled. I wonder what the translucent ones feel like, as for how solid they are. If it's a better quality, maybe they used to be all translucent. Let me just poke it with a tweezer there. Like, it feels fairly solid. And if I find one that's already breaking, and if I give that a bit of a poke, and it just, yeah, it just crumbles. Wow. So they should, and originally were, translucent, somewhat translucent. Yeah, they're a lot more solid. So clearly, I'm picking the grease that they put on them has caused them to rot. I'm going to pull one of those out and have a closer look. Well, there you go, everyone. There is a lot more to that than I thought. But you can clearly see where you can clearly see the original structure. You have through here even there's a little flexible piece. It was making it a bit more difficult to get off, but that sort of hooks in behind somewhere. But this is a lot more translucent than the failed stuff, and you can see the shape that used to be there. There, it's broken away. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. I reckon the grease that they've put all over that has reacted really badly with whatever plastic that was made of. It's just completely rotted. So at this point, I'm just going to put the question out to the world. Anyone know where I can get them? At the moment, the local agent is being rather unhelpful. Yeah, I don't know, maybe I could try and claim some sort of warranty due to manufacturing defect. Although we're looking at over 10 years old, a musical instrument should last a lot longer than that, in my opinion. Yeah, it gets worked a lot, and some maintenance is probably expected, but you should be able to repair them. Yeah, it's a waste of a perfectly good instrument. So yeah, if anyone out there can help me out, give me an idea where I can get more of these, because I don't think 3D printing well, at the moment I'm thinking 3D printing a new piece to slip over the end of the metal bracket is probably my only option. I don't know what it's like for tolerances in there and how thin I can print. I think if I was to print something, it would be 2 sections that I marry up and would slip around, one on each side of the metal section. I think that's pretty doable, to be honest, but it's good since I've actually got a complete one to take measurements off. It would be very easy to draw up and print, but I'm lazy, so yeah, if anyone out there can help me find an original set, I'd be most grateful. Thanks for watching.